Today, we're talking about the biggest potential risks to your retirement plan. And we're here with Jeff Small, president of Arbor Financial Services, as well as Dr. Marc Faber, an economist, market forecaster, and editor, as well as publisher of the Gloom, Boom, and Doom Report, which is available at gloomboomdoom.com. Marc, always great to have you back. Thank you.
Dr. Faber,
well, thank you very much for having me on your program.
Oh, it's great
and
to
I
see
hope you and your viewers are all well and healthy.
Great.
Very kind of you to say so. Speaking on that note, Dr. Faber, there's a lot of uncertainty building with the COVID-19 variants, Afghanistan and so forth. What is your biggest concern as far as the financial markets go right now?
Well, I think in life there are things that you can more or less control and steer, and there are outside events that about which we have no control. But I would say for retirees or about to retire people, I think there are some concerns about the future return of assets. Because as you know, say in the 1970s, the stock market capitalization of the US as a percent of the economy was throughout the 1970s less than 30%. And subsequently in the 80s and 90s, stocks went up a lot. And now we have a market capitalization to GDP of over 150%.
It's actually a lot higher than that. It's actually a lot higher than that, Dr. Faber, the market cap as a ratio to GDP. However, the last 5 years have really not been the gloom, boom, and doom scenarios we've had. The market has doubled in 5 years. And so what you're saying then is the market is at this humongous peak in values. So it's going to be harder to get a return going forward. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, it will be more difficult to make money in future. And let me add to this. In the 70s, in 1970, Treasury bonds, the 10 years Treasury bond was yielding 6%. And then the yield went up to more than 15% in 1981. And now we're down to less than 2%, so 1.5% or so, thereabouts. And in Europe, many bonds have a negative yield. So you understand, if you have a 50% portfolio, 50% equities, 50% bonds, on the bonds, you're earning very little at the present time. And so you have to rely on equities. But this is true, the indices have gone up, whereby the typical stock isn't up that much because the money has flown into a few stocks. There's a few stocks like the FANG-related stocks and semiconductors. They've been driven the market higher, but the broad market hasn't done very well. And internationally, I want to point this out because the US is not the whole world. Right. Internationally, most stock markets haven't done anything since 1998 or 2007, so they haven't gone up that much. Okay. And so the performance has been very narrow. But going forward into future, I think that foreign markets will do better than the US.
Dr. Faber, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.